Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. So the countdown is on. We are now 13 days away technically from the halving in terms of the countdown over on CoinMarketCap, and everyone is getting very excited because they think that this is going to pump Bitcoin to major heights. But the problem is that the Bitcoin halving event is always blown out of proportion by Bitcoin maxis. It's pretty much a big nothing event. And it's something that, in my opinion, is already priced in when it comes to Bitcoin. But does that mean that Bitcoin won't pump after the fact or even a little bit up to it? No. I still think that as we really look at Bitcoin, the only thing that really matters is us having a daily or a weekly candle close over 69K, and that would ultimately confirm a much larger expansion to $80,000. It should also be our next major wave move on Bitcoin. Now, outside of that, do I think that the Bitcoin halving is a very bullish event or anything like that? Like I said, I don't put a lot of weight on it. I don't look at it as a bullish or even a bearish event. I just simply look at it as a neutral event around crypto that technically aligns perfectly with the liquidity cycle, which I will also address in this video. Now, with altcoins, what am I watching for? Well, mainly I'm still watching Bitcoin dominance. According to CoinMarketCap, it's still at about roughly 53%, so we're not yet in alt season, but altcoins have been starting to break out a little bit. XRP is pumping slightly, if you will call it a pump. Ultimately, I'm not really excited about XRP until we're over 75 cents. One thing that I will say is that we could still see one last major move down to about 53 to 55 cents, which is a big area of demand on XRP. And I wouldn't write off a possible wick down to that level right before we get the big move above 75 cents and ultimately an expansion at 92 cents, which is the last level of major resistance before we go to the 2021 high and then ultimately target the all-time high. So I'm definitely watching XRP closely right now, and most altcoins. On the 24-hour span, there is a lot of altcoins pumping right now, and it's simply because Bitcoin is starting to range currently against resistance. So we still need Bitcoin to break over that resistance zone, which is 69K, and get a close over it on the daily or possibly even the weekly, which guess what? The weekly candle close is tomorrow. So definitely watch that closely. Now, before I do continue on in this video, I just want to let you guys in on the affiliate deal that I have with NordVPN. No, this is not a sponsored post or anything like that. As you guys can see, I'm actually utilizing NordVPN right now on the top of the screen. But regardless, if you guys do want to go check out NordVPN, this is a service that I utilize every single day. It is an extra layer of security behind everything going on within crypto. It is one of the safest VPNs, one of the fastest VPNs, and one of the best VPNs out there, especially for the value behind it. Again, this is strictly an affiliate deal. I'm not sponsored or anything like that by them. It does help the channel greatly. And the best part about it is it's a service that I utilize, that I trust, and it is an extra layer of security. Everyone should always be utilizing a VPN, whether you are in crypto or even outside of crypto for security purposes. And right now, utilizing my link, if you guys did want to go check out the 2-year plan or even the 1-year plan, you could save up to almost $113 and up to almost $162, depending on which one you are choosing. So if you guys do want to go check this out, there's going to be a link down in the description below as well as in the comments below. Again, this does help the channel greatly. It is an affiliate deal, so I do make money off of this, full transparency, but I'd rather push something that is, you know, of quality and something that I actually utilize and trust on a daily basis and actually pay for myself. So if you guys do want to go check it out, you guys are more than welcome to, and you get to save a ton of money as well. Now, outside of that, though, what are we really looking at? So like I said, everyone is definitely hyping up the halving event, and we have historically the Bitcoin halving event leads to a massive rally, but not before a period of choppy price action designed to shake people out. Don't fall for it. The best is yet to come. Now, I will agree with this, right? We will most likely chop into the big rally. Every single time in the past, in terms of the actual halving, we have chopped a little bit before the big expansion to the upside. Go back to 2012, go back to 2016, go back to 2020. You can clearly see what happened. Now, I will say this, over the next roughly year, almost 2 years, we are going to pump. How do we know this? liquidity cycles. This is something that I've watched every single time around every single cycle that I've been a part of. If you go back to 2017, 2018, again, we didn't play perfectly into the liquidity cycle, but if we go back to 2020 and 2021, you could clearly see when we topped out in terms of the liquidity index and when we bottomed in 2022. This has historically been a big buy and sell signal for me. So if you guys do want to follow this, you guys are more than welcome to. If we are watching this closely, we should top out somewhere around 2025. And, you know, it's not always accurate, but like I said, 2025 seems like the golden time frame to really be taking profits. I would argue this summer into December could be profit-taking time. But we still need to address this. We still need to watch it. I will obviously address this throughout the year. If you guys do want to get live updates every single day, pretty much, and every single week, you guys are more than welcome to join the Patreon group, which I will be starting to push this chart heavily and talking about it more openly within the group. And I also do provide a ton of insights behind what I'm doing and my plans of action going forward on with even altcoins like XRP. But outside of that, I will cover it on the channel as well. And I will start to do more live streams as well covering this. But outside of this, yes, shakeouts will happen and coordinated attacks will also happen within this space. What do I mean by that? Well, do you guys remember the Goldman Sachs post that I included in a video just recently? Yeah, well, now we have Goldman Sachs, Citadel, Citigroup, and UBS added as authorized participants for BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF. And I said, wait, this can't be right. Goldman Sachs just said 48 hours ago that digital assets don't have any value tied to them. Now do you see the big picture? It's so obvious. And yes, they manipulate through headlines. Remember, most of these news platforms, pretty much all of them actually, I shouldn't even say most of them, like you have Fox News. Do you honestly think Fox News isn't owned by one of these big giants? Look at BlackRock. How much money is coming from BlackRock to fund these news media platforms? I would argue a lot. Again, when you control the news, you can control the narrative, which controls the markets. How do you think that they manipulate the markets? It's so easy. But it's so funny because a lot of people are now noticing this. We have Goldman Sachs this week. We're not believers in crypto. Bitcoin creates absolutely no value in any shape or form. Now an authorized participant on iShares Bitcoin ETF. You seriously can't make this stuff up. This is why I always say, like, you know, pay attention to what they're saying and do the opposite of what they're saying. So if they're starting to push the Bitcoin idea of saying, oh, Bitcoin to $300,000, Bitcoin, yeah, guess what? We're not even hitting close to that. I'm actually starting to see a lot of people pushing the idea that, oh, Bitcoin's going to, you know, $300,000. It's going here, it's going there. I would argue that I would be surprised if we go past $120,000. I've said it time and time again. Everyone thinks I'm crazy because they're like, well, all the ETF volume. Guys, it's just another narrative to get you trapped in this space, bag holding, while you're the exit liquidity. Again, I don't care where XRP goes this cycle. We're not in a utility-driven bull run. I'm taking profits once I think that the market has topped. And for anyone asking, will I be making a video on that? Will I be talking about it? I might do a live stream when we get closer to that point. But the Patreon group will definitely get updates behind that. Again, like I said, you don't need to join the paid group or anything like that. Mainly what you want to focus on is the liquidity cycle. This is pretty much the golden ticket to understanding how the market cycle is going to react. Because time and time again, this has been a major indicator of when the markets are topped out or close to topping out. Back in like 08, for an example, you didn't really see any warning signs, but you saw that liquidity was significantly going down and down and down, hinting at, guess what? We're moving off of pretty much no liquidity, so a crash is coming. This is all you had to really follow. And then guess what? After 08, you started to see liquidity increasing drastically into almost 2010. And then throughout roughly 2010 to about roughly 2020, that's when we started to see liquidity improving greatly. Again, you also had the downward spiral in 2020 before the pandemic actually hit, which was kind of a warning sign of what's to come. But regardless, this is pretty much a huge indicator. Sometimes it's lagging, sometimes it's not extremely accurate, but it is something to definitely watch for. But outside of this, what about XRP, right? So an individual that that I would argue that I'm pretty good friends with, we've talked quite heavily over on X. I did want him to actually be a part of the Crypto Wealth Network with me. He actually has been charting XRP for a very long time, and he's been pushing major updates behind it, and I would argue that's been pretty accurate. He actually has a post here saying, don't fight a macro bullish chart. Instead, position yourself early and let the market come to you. You need to give the asset room to breathe and be patient. This is how Axe Edge members roll. The chasers will get burned every time. We are preemptive of price. How else do you think we ended up with $16,000 Bitcoin purchases and now in a position of strength with options? Now, this is his XRP chart. So again, as we really look at what's going on with XRP, I've said it time and time again, we are attempting to have a major macro breakout. This goes all the way back to 2017, 2018. Everyone has been crying about XRP price action for years and years and years. Now, listen, you take what the market's going to give you. Everyone's waiting on a $10 XRP. Everyone's waiting on a $100 XRP. Everyone's waiting on a certain price point on XRP. But this is the problem, right? Back in 2021, I shouldn't say 2020, 2021, when we topped out in April, I remember everyone saying, if you're selling now, you're going to wreck yourself. If you're selling now, you won't see $10. Guess what? We never even saw close to $10. This is why you can't wait for certain prices. You need to take what the market is going to give you. The market determines if it's going to take your profits away or if you are going to take profits. Again, if you don't take profits, the markets will. But the thing that I'm watching for on XRP right now is simply what we have from Bobby. He's actually giving us an insight on this macro wedge that we've been in. The bottom, the bottom line, which is this one going all the way back to 2020, and we've been kind of riding it for a while now. That trend line is what I'm watching for closely to hold and maintain. The top one, we already tapped on the initial move previously. His is a little bit different because I'm going off of the 2021 time frame. Technically speaking, that upper line that he has circled in green, so I could actually kind of zoom in on it. It's right here. It's above like about almost $1.15, $1.20-ish, somewhere around there. Ultimately, we want to break out of $1.34 and get a close over that level before we get excited. But then we also have to clear the 2021 high and then also the 2017, 2018 all-time high. But the initial target points that he has up here in terms of the take profit zone is about $5.31, which would be the 1618 fib level off of the 2020 low and off of the, I believe this is the 2021 high that he's going off of. I might be wrong. I don't know where he actually drew his fibs. But regardless, what we're watching for here is $5.31. Or yeah, he's actually going off of the all-time high from 2017, 2018. I now actually see the one fib here. But regardless, the take profit point would be the $5.31 zone all the way up to about $13.72. Again, during that entire time, you want to be taking percentages out of your XRP bag. You don't want to be bag holding this cycle, because this could very well be the last major bull run before regulations. And if that is the case, a lot of people have been hinting at the fact that this bear market could be the longest one in crypto history. It could be longer than, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. We don't know. I mean, go back to the .com bubble burst, right? If we're getting regulations, we could be 5 years out from a full bull run. But I don't think that we have to wait that long. I think that utility is going to take over pretty quick. And I think that that's going to really kind of reshape this entire market. And over the course of the next 2 years, I think that things are going to change drastically once we do have regulations in. But nonetheless, right? As we really look at this, he did say AMM, this $2 billion SEC lawsuit, that anyone's too focused on these narratives is certainly overly emotional and will more than likely make decisions based on those emotions. The goal in markets is to eliminate as much noise as possible and not add to an already overwhelmingly stressful environment. And yes, when we think about this, right, it's very simple. XRP has been in this macro wedge for well over now. It's going on like 6 years, almost 7 years. If we think about that, right? When this wedge breaks, XRP is going to move pretty quick and it's going to surprise a lot of people. It's going to catch a lot of people off guard. Now, if we think about that, right? If we're breaking this macro wedge and we hit an all-time high, what are we going to see around this space? I'll let you guys answer in the comments real quick. What we are going to see is pushed narratives. Oh, the utility bull run starting. It's up only for the next couple years for, blah, 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 whatever. Don't sell your XRP bags. Don't sell. Anyone that is telling you don't sell and trying to make you, make a decision instead of you actually being the one making the decision, immediately block them. Listen, you should take profits when you feel comfortable taking profits. You should 100% be taking profits regardless of the price every single cycle. If you are in significant profits, we're talking about life-changing wealth. Don't beg, hold back down to the starting point, or even worse. Make sure that you are taking profits off the table and paying yourselves. You deserve it. But always calculate the fact that you will also have to pay taxes on any profits. That's another big thing. But regardless, as we really look at this cycle, there has been a ton of shakeouts, and there will only continue to be more and more shakeouts along the way. We will see the markets, be manipulated by these big players. They will continue to say, oh, it doesn't hold value. It's this, it's that. You'll start to see bearish narratives being pushed as well, because just like every single other cycle in time, you will have these bearish narratives. Oh, they're going to ban Bitcoin mining. Oh, the Bitcoin ETFs, blah, blah. They'll make up narratives behind every single thing, because that's exactly how these cycles work. They want to play on your emotions. Never play into it, especially at this current moment in time. Anyone getting bearish on altcoins right now are going to be, really taken off guard in the next couple weeks and months ahead. I would argue that if we're looking at this space right now, and we're talking about altcoins, and we're talking about Bitcoin, altcoins have barely moved. I see a lot of people saying, oh, altcoins already are in alt season. This could not be further from the truth. I've talked about this already. I've given you guys insights on the gainers and losers. If you go to the top 30 gainers in the all-time market, look at some of these coins that are moving. Look at the volume on the 24-hour span. These are illiquid garbage coins. Most of them are, at least. There is still some that could be in this list that might have some value tied to it, but for the most part, come on, look at the names of some of these coins. When we really look at this and address this, guys, pretty much nothing is moving. At least most of the legitimate projects. It's all illiquid trash. Altcoins have barely started to move. We're not in alt season yet. Bitcoin dominance hasn't broken down. Bitcoin is still ranging while we're getting closer and closer to the Bitcoin halving, which if you play into that narrative, hey, we're starting to pump. But also look at the liquidity index. This is what I'm focused on. And also remember that the US is now adding $1 trillion to the debt pretty much on a monthly basis. It's been insane. But outside of all of this, there is big narratives behind crypto, escaping inflation, escaping bank runs, things like that. All of this will lead to higher price action. There will always be a narrative to accommodate for price action, but ultimately it's just markets running off of liquidity. Liquidity has been increasing greatly since 2022, which added fuel to the fire, and it will only continue to until at least roughly 2025, which is when we are really watching the markets to get out and take profits. Then we prepare for the utility bull run, we prepare for what's going to happen next, and we position ourselves accordingly. But before we get there, we need to make sure that we are vigilant, we're paying attention, and we're making sure to avoid getting shaken out along the way in this major and probably one of the very last incredible bull runs in history, because once regulations are in the space, it changes everything. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.